Hi everyone. Today let us start the section based on frequently asking SQL questions. Last session we have completed about the frequently asked Azure data engineering questions. Today we start the new section on frequently asked SQL questions. Let's start the section. How do we use the distinct key statement? What is its uses? Actually, this type of question is rarely frequently asked. So let us know what is distinct. Distinct, it is a keyword which is used in conjunction with a select statement to retrieve unique values from a column, or we can say in this manner also. It is a combination of a columns in a table. When we use distinct, it actually eliminates duplicate rows from the result set. So in this way also we can express the about the what is distinct. Actually it means it is a statement which is used to select the statement. If the record contains duplicate values, then the distinct statement is used to select different values among duplicate records. So the syntax of the distinct is select distinct column name from table name. Next question. What is using clause? Let us know what is meant by this using clause. Actually, it is typically used in conjunction with the join operation to specify the columns on which the join should be performed. Actually, it provides an alternative syntax to the more common on clause for specifying the join conditions. So, actually, what is it means? The using clause means while working with SQL join, it is used to check the equality based on columns when tables are joined. It can be used instead of the on clause in join. It has a syntax. Syntax of this using clause is select column names from table name, join table using column name. Next question. Why do we use SQL constraints? Which constraints we can use while creating a database in SQL? What are the constraints in SQL? So it is the mostly asked frequently question for fresher and experienced candidate also. What is meant by first? Let us know what is meant by this constraint. Actually, in SQL, constraint it is a rule or it is applied to a column, restriction to apply to a column or a combination of column in a table to enforce data integrity and maintain consistency in the database. Actually, it ensures that data stored in database follows which some certain rules which helps to prevent invalid or inconsistent data from being inserted or updated. So it has some major constraints also we have in SQL. Actually, it means the constraints are used to set the rules of all records in table. If any constraint get violated, then it can be about the action that caused it. So they have some major constraints which are used in SQL. They are not null, unique queue, primary key, foreign key, check. Let us know what is this primary key constraint. Let us this primary key. What is this primary key? What is this foreign key? What is this check? Unique, not null. Let us know this in detailed manner. Not null. It ensures that column cannot contain null values. Only it required a value be provided for the column in every row. It means it indicates that the column must have some value and cannot be left null. Next, what is this unique? Actually, this ensures that all values in a specified column are unique. Similar to a primary key constraint, but does not necessarily enforce the same requirement as a primary key. Actually, it means it is used to ensure that each row and column has a unique value and no value is being repeated in other row or a column. Primary key. It ensures that each row in a table has a unique identifier. It prevents duplicate or null values in the specified columns. Typically, it is used in inequally identify each row in the table. It means it is used in association with not null and unique constraints such as no one or the combination of more than one value to identify the particular record with a unique identity. Foreign key. Actually, it ensures that in referential integrity between two tables. Actually, it defines a relationship between a column in one table and column in another table. Ensure that a value in foreign key column of the child table must have enabled the primary key column of the parent table. It means it is used to ensure the referential integrity of a data in the table. It matches the value in one table with another using the primary key. Check. Actually, it enforces the specific conditions or rules on the data allowed in a column. It specifies expressions that must evaluate to true for any data modification to be allowed. Actually, it means whether the value in columns fulfill the specified conditions or not. So these are the major constraints we used in SQL. Actually, these constraints are essential for maintaining the integrity, consistency, and occurrence of the data in database. They help business rules prevent data corruption and data conforms to intent, structure, and relationship defined by the database schema. By using these constraints, SQL databases can maintain the data quality and reliability over a time. Next question. So, what are the joins used in SQL and explain each? It is made so frequently asked question. It will be some confused question also when they are asked in syntax type by giving us some example to solve this joins. So we have a four major types of joins which we used on multiple tables in SQL database. They are inner join, left join, right join, full join. Let us know these what these define. First, inner join. Inner join is it return records that have matching values in both the tables. It also means a simple join also, which return all rows from both the tables when it has at least one matching column. Left join. It returns the records from left table and matched records from the right table. It means this join returns all rows from left table and it is matched rows from a right table. Right join. Right join means it returns all records from right table and matched records from left table. Vice versa. This join returns all rows from right table and returns from matched rows from the left table. Full join returns all records where there is a match either left or right join table. It means this return all results where there is a match either in right table or in left table. These are the joins in SQL. We have some example. We have a syntax for the inner join also, which returns the both tables and it has at least one matching column. For syntax of this inner join is select column name from table inner join table on column name equal to column name 1 and column name 2. If here we take the tables and we join the by using inner join syntax. Here is the table which is the joining the. So here you see the table employee ID, last name, first name, job role. These are the column names. And second table we have employee ID, last name, first name and joining date. In this table we have the both which return all rows from the both tables which has one at least one matching column. So here it has a both in both the tables we have a matching columns employee ID, last name, first name. Okay, you have seen this. employee ID, last name, first name, and first name. So here the job role and joining date, these two column names are different. Next, in this way have in this example we have a table employee with the following data. The second table is joining. So enter the following SQL statement. There are the four records selected. Result. So if you use the left join, then we come across this output. So here we use the select employee ID joining date from employee table. Here is the this is the employee table. Left from employee, left joining on employee equal to employee joining employee ID order by employee ID. So we will get the output employee ID joining date. So right join. In this right join, we match the rows from the left table. So here is the table name and these are the two table names. So second table name is joining and the first table is the table employee with the following data. Here we use the right joining. So here employee ID and joining date will be result. So which we match. So in this two table we will match the columns and we get the result. So here employee ID is same match and the joining date. So here what will be the second table which what we come across, that we will get the output. Full join. It returns either in right table or in the left table all results. Syntax of this full join is select column name from table name, full join table name 2 on column name 1 equal to column name 2. So here is the one example. So we have a table employee with the following data and the second table name is joining. Here we write the syntax for the full join. So select employee dot employee ID joining dot joining date from employee table. Table name here from table name. Table name is employee. We use the syntax inner join. Joining on employee dot employee ID equal to joining dot employee ID order by employee dot employee ID. So it will be the output. Next, what are the transactions and their controls? Actually, in SQL, transactions and control are concepts related to the managing database operation, ensuring data integrity and controlling the flow of execution within a database. Actual, what is meant by these transaction means it is a sequence of one or more SQL operations that are treated as a single unit of work. It has some ACID properties also. So it means here we can define as a sequence task that is performed on a database in a logical manner to gain a certain results. Operations like creating, updating, deleting records performed in the database come from transactions. Commit, rollback, set transactions, save point. These are the controls of the SQL. Commit means it is used to save all changes made through the transaction. Rollback. It is used to roll back the transaction. All changes made by the transactions are revert back and the database remains as before. Set transaction. It set the name of a transaction. Save point. It is used to set the point where the transaction is to be rolled back. Next question, what are the properties of the transaction? So it has some property, the transaction have some properties that are known as ACID properties. So ACID properties means it has atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. So let us know one by one what is atomicity. In atomicity, all operations within a transaction are either completed successfully and committed to the database, or none of them are applied if any operation fails. It means it ensures the completeness of all transactions performed, whether every transaction is completed successfully or not. If not, then the transaction is abort and failure point, and the previous transaction is rolled back to its initial state as changes are undone. Next, consistency. Transactions bring the database from one consistent state to another consistent. Constraints and rules are enforced to maintain the data consistency. Here, it ensures that all changes made through successful transactions are reflected properly on the database. Isolations. Transactions are isolated from each to prevent interface and ensure that each other intermediate states. It means that all transactions are performed independently and changes made by one transaction are not reflected on others. Next, durability. Once transaction is committed, its changes are permanent and cannot be undone, even in the event of the statement failure. It means the changes made in database with committed transaction persists as it is even after a system failure. Actually, these transactions are started with a begin transaction or start transaction statement or complete with a commit or rollback statement to either apply or discard the changes respectively. Next question. How many aggregate functions are there in SQL? Actually, what is meant by these aggregate function means it is used to perform calculation on set of rows and return a single result. These functions operate on group of rows and typically return a single value based on the values within each group. We have some commonly used aggregate functions in SQL like average, count, max, mean, sum, first, last. So, what is meant by these aggregate function means it determine and calculate values from multiple columns in table and return in a single value. Average means it average the value from specified columns. Count, it count the number of table rows. Max, it returns the largest value among the records. Minimum, it returns the smallest value among the records. It returns the sum of the specified column values. First, it returns the first value. Last means it returns the last value. In this way, we have some aggregate functions which are available in SQL. Mostly we use these aggregate functions in SQL. Next question. What are the scalar function in SQL? In SQL, scalar functions are the functions which operate on a single input value and return a single output value. These functions are commonly used to perform calculation, manipulate strings, format dates, apply custom logic to individual within a query. So, it is used to return a single value based on the input value. So we have some scalar function like case, L case, mate, format, length, round. So it converts the U case, uppercase means it converts the specified field in uppercase. Lowercase means it specifies the field in lowercase. Mate, it extract and returns character from the text field. Format specifies the display format. Length, it specifies the length of the text field. Round, it rounds up the decimal field value to a number. What is a view in SQL? In SQL, view is a virtual table that is based on the result of a SQL query. Actually, in physical, which stores the data on disk. A view does not store data itself but rather dynamically retrieves the data from one or more underlying tables and other views whenever it is required. Actually, a view is defined by a SQL select statement that specifies the column and rows to include in the view. In simple manner, it is defined a virtual table that contains rows and columns with fields from one or more tables. It has a syntax like create view, view name as a select column name from table where condition. How we can update the view? So how we can update the view? By We can update the view by SQL create and replace can be used for updating the view. Execute the below query to update the recreated view. So syntax is create or replace view name as select column name from table name where condition. Here we can use the update the view by create and replace. So we can write the syntax like we can write create view name as select column name from table name where condition, or replace view name as select column name from table name where condition. So in this way we can update the view. Thank you. Thank you one and all.